The laser flickered slightly, settling dead center between his heavy furrowed brows. He blinked once, and in that brief moment, his confident grin vanished. Behind him, her fingers trembled, barely visible, but I saw. They always tremble when they're unsure whose side they're really on. He was posturing like a cliché from a high school locker room. Chest puffed out, veins bulging. The very picture of a man who believed muscle made him untouchable. She stood half hidden behind his looming frame. Like that would shield her, as if brute strength could ever stop a bullet flying in from 1,000 yards away. "Be smart," he growled, chest rising and falling with each heavy breath. "Walk away before I break your neck." I smiled, cold and steady. 12 years as an assassin, 9 confirmed kills, 5 more never confirmed because I never missed and the bodies were never found. That's the thing about big men. They fall just like anyone else, especially when they aren't the real target. 3 weeks ago, she whispered a name in her sleep, someone else's name, soft and breathless, but not mine. I didn't wake her. Instead, I lay still, staring at the ceiling, letting the silence press into my ears like ash settling after a fire. The next morning, she kissed me as if nothing had happened. Coffee, small talk. Her phone buzzed on the table. A name I didn't recognize. "Who's Cam?" I asked casually. Her lips paused mid-sip. "Coworker," she lied. Too fast, too sharp. I didn't flinch, just smiled and nodded. People think betrayal strikes like thunder, but it's quieter, slower, like a fuse burning unseen. She didn't even realize the fire had started. I moved through the days like I used to move through enemy compounds, calm, watchful, invisible. I pulled her car's GPS history, matching locations to timestamps. She wasn't working late. She was parking at a high-rise across town for hours at a time. Different days. Same unit number. Cameron lived there. I requested a background check through an old contact still in Intel. Cameron Reese. Amateur bodybuilder. 2 assault charges dropped. Not her type. Then again, I wasn't her type anymore, apparently. Next, a toothbrush in her gym bag that wasn't hers. Different bristles. Traces of cologne I didn't wear. Still, I said nothing. That's the part that kills them in the end. Not the betrayal, not the exposure, but the silence. The envelope arrived at exactly 14:37 on a Thursday. I already knew what was inside. I opened it with surgical care. A DNA report. My name. Her name. Cameron Reese. And the prenatal file. She was 6 weeks pregnant. We hadn't touched each other in 9. The last time I remembered, she winced like she was carrying guilt. She turned off the lights like she was hiding a secret. That night, I waited for her. Dinner on the table, her favorite wine, everything perfect. She walked in, surprised. When I handed her the envelope, I watched as her eyes scanned the pages. Saw her face crumble inward. She opened her mouth, then closed it again, tears spilling down her cheeks. I didn't move or speak. Eventually, she begged, said she was confused, said it was a mistake. Funny word, mistake. Betrayal should come with a warning label. Clerical error. And here we are again, back to the cocky giant with a mouth too big for his skull, and her cowering behind him, unsure which of us to fear more. "You don't scare me," he spat, trying to recover. "You're just some washed-up," the laser twitched, cutting him off. He stopped talking. "You see that?" I said, voice low, cold. "That's not a threat. It's insurance." His eyes flicked up, finally noticing the rifle's red, somewhere on a rooftop or across the street. I stepped forward, calm but deadly. "She didn't tell you, did she? That she's pregnant with your kid." His mouth opened, stunned. "She didn't tell you because she wanted to keep pretending it was mine." Her face went pale. "I'm not here to fight," I said. "I just wanted you to know who you're getting." Then I vanished. I turned to her. "Don't call. Don't follow. Next time I see either of you, it won't be a conversation." Then I walked away, leaving silence in my wake. And for once, I didn't look back. Some betrayals cut clean. Others leave you bleeding in places no one can see. But I learned long ago how to close wounds without stitches. You stop asking why. You stop needing answers. You just accept She wasn't who I thought she was. Maybe she never was. And me? I was always a weapon. She just reminded me what that meant. A weapon doesn't cry. It doesn't beg. It doesn't regret pulling the trigger. It just makes sure it never misses. And I never miss.